You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borg. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon, welcome back. Today is Tuesday. Happy Valentine's Day, 14th day of February, 2023. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. This is our second live broadcast of the day. Our first live broadcast is our live training room from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. every trading day. That broadcast is reserved for members only and those who are taking their 1 week free trial. If you've not taken your 1 week free trial, just go to mytradingiq.com, click the button at the top of the page there, and your journey will begin. Now, we take a break at 11:30, come back at 12 noon Eastern for the afternoon broadcast. We've changed our format slightly since we began trading live on TradingView. So Michael will be on at about 1:40 to do the recap of the live training room, and then we'll do a 30-minute live stream on the TradingView platform. This afternoon broadcast is open to the public. Everybody everywhere on planet Earth with an internet-connected device. Now, there's two ways you can join this afternoon broadcast. The best way, go to mytradingiq.com, scroll down to where it says afternoon broadcast, click the link, complete the 30-second registration form, and that's it. You don't have to do it again, because every trading day going forward, you'll get an email. In that email, there will be a link. At 12 noon Eastern, all you have to do is click the link in the email. It will automatically log you into our platform. Now, I call it the better way because it gives you access to the question box so that you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. The other way to join the afternoon broadcast is to simply point your browser to our YouTube channel. It's pretty easy to remember. YouTube.com, you already know that part, /CFRN. YouTube.com/CFRN. Not only do we broadcast live every trading day on our YouTube channel, but we also archive every daily broadcast. Currently, there's over 2,200 daily live broadcasts archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. And if you're new to the world of CFRN, it's a great way to get to know who we really are. You can scroll back 6 weeks, 6 months, a year, 2 years, even more, and just pick days at random. Listen in. You'll find a thread of connectivity, a thread of continuity woven through each and every daily broadcast. It's the fastest way to get to know who we really are, what it is we do, how we do it, even why we do it. So with that said, we'll open with a word of prayer as we do. But this week we're talking about putting Jesus first. We're spending 5 days in Colossians. This is day 2. Our scripture today is Colossians 1, verses 3 through 8, and I'm reading out of the Message translation. Our prayers for you are always spilling over into thanksgivings. We can't quit thanking God, our Father, and Jesus, our Messiah, for you. We keep getting reports of your steady faith in Christ, our Jesus, and the love you continuously extend to all Christians. The lines of purpose in your lives never grow slack, tightly tied, as they are to your future in heaven, kept taut by hope. The message is true among you today as when you first heard it. It doesn't diminish or weaken over time. It's the same all over the world. The message bears fruit and gets larger and stronger, just as it has in you. From the very first day you heard and recognized the truth of what God is doing, you've been hungry for more. It's as vigorous in you now as when you learned it from our friend and close associate, Ephraim. He is one reliable worker for Christ. I could always depend on him. He's the one who told us how thoroughly love had been worked into your lives by the Spirit. That's a letter written by Paul. Fear, cynicism, misinformation. Is it just me, or do you see these things everywhere you cast your eyes these days? It doesn't take long to look around and realize that we live in a broken world. For the Christian, there is a greater hope for both our broken hearts and the broken world we live in. In the incredibly difficult and dark circumstances we face in this world, Christians have a unique opportunity to be the Christ-like people in this world. In these opening words of Paul's letter to the Colossians, we see Paul practicing what it means to be marked by gratitude, despite the persecution and imprisonment he and those he is writing to are currently facing. But for what is Paul so thankful? He is thankful for the gospel that has transformed the hearts and lives of the Colossians, for their faith in Christ, for the love they show for other believers, despite their differences, and despite the fact that the world tells them they shouldn't, for the hope that is laid up in heaven for them, and for the fact that the gospel is bearing fruit not only in their community, but all over the world. Paul is so eager he radiates gratitude because these Colossians not only say they believe the gospel message, they are acting like it in the way they love one another. And more, they have an eternal hope for their future. As you and I walk through trials, disappointments, confusion, and misinformation, suffering of various kinds in this world that can cause us to lose sight of what we are to be most thankful for, let us be that peculiar, otherworldly people who are marked by the gratitude that Paul exemplifies in this passage for us. Let us, as Paul will go on to say later in this letter, put on the new self as those who are now a new creation in Christ, as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved. Friend, let us hold fast to the good news of the gospel, for it will anchor us as we navigate living in a broken world. And friend, let us look up, look around, and see all that God is accomplishing as He advances the gospel in our own lives and in the lives of those around us. When the world rolls in with its typical cynicism and fear, let's be warm and radiant in a refreshing posture of thanks. And when we're asked why, let's make clear that we're most thankful for the fact that the glorious gospel of Jesus is doing its work, saving souls and bearing fruit in the lives of those we love and all around the world. Jesus came to save sinners. This, friend, is the good news worthy of all our praise, worship, and gratitude to God for all of our days. Let us be marked by this same beautiful good news. Join me in a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you that we have heard and responded to the gospel of grace, and that by believing in Jesus, we have a hope reserved for us in heaven. May this blessed hope overflow in an unshakable trust in your word of truth and a deep love for all the body of Christ. It's in Jesus' name we believe and pray. And everybody said, amen. Amen. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Don't forget your loved one. It's not too late to dash out and grab a card or some flowers out of the neighbor's yard, whatever you need to do. Let me give you the numbers from around the world. These are the cash markets, or the indices as they're called, starting here in the U.S. The Dow's down 259 points. The NASDAQ is down 48. The S&P 500 is down 22. The Russell 2000 is down 19 points. That's 1%. In the commodity basket, crude oil is down $1.34, trading 78.80 last. That's a drop of over 1.5%. Gold down $3.40, trading 18.60.10 last. Silver down 10 cents, trading 21.75 last. In the Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei posted a gain of 176 points. The Shanghai rose 9. The Hang Seng fell 50. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE up 6, the DAX down 16, the CAC up 5. No movers and no shakers in that bunch. So, that gave us a mixed day in Asia. It was a mixed day for the UK. But right now, it is a big red Radio Tuesday here in the US of A. With that, let's go to the recap of the Logic 247 alerts. Now, Logic 247 is our 24/7 around-the-clock Emini alert service. We're in week 237. Now, I'll show you what the alerts look like in a few minutes, just in case you've never seen them. Now, the markets open Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, and the Globex market stays open till Friday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern. So alerts can come out at 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. whenever opportunity presents itself. futures trade around the clock, and we have traders around the globe. So we got to make sure everybody gets taken care of. Now, extreme volatility in the markets today. You'll see that in a moment when we go to the charts. As of 7 a.m. this morning, we've issued a total of 19 alerts since Sunday night when the Globex markets opened at 6 p.m. Eastern. 3 never triggered. At the time the recap was done, we were still waiting on 1. That gave us 15 actionable alerts, of which 3 or 20% would have been stopped out based on not risking more than $300 per contract per trade, less when possible, using market structure and a very simple 3-step process that we teach all of our passport holders. Over the 237 weeks, we have averaged 20% or less of the alerts being stopped out. Now, you never risk more on a trade than the potential profit. Occasionally there'll be an alert that only has a 2-point target. Speaking of the ES, perhaps. In that instance, on your smaller time frame, using market structure, you can't risk more than the potential profit. So 237 weeks, 20% or less. We've had weeks with 3%, 4%, 5%. I think we had a week last week or the week before where we actually were at 21 or 23%, but over 237 weeks we've averaged 20% or less. It's considerably less, but I just like to be conservative and call it 20. And that's where we sit today, right at 20%. Now, let me pull this down. And we'll jump right over to the alerts. Now, over 237 weeks, we have now issued 13,531 individual handcrafted alerts. On each alert, you can see they're numbered. It's 13,530, 29. You get the idea. So on this alert, this is gold. The idea was to be long 1871. The initial target 1872. The initial target is designed to help you get your goal for the day. The only exception is the NQ, where the initial target is $200 per contract traded, because the NQ is incredibly volatile. On all the other markets, the initial target, and that's what T stands for. If I put IT, it would look like it, and that would be confusing. So, the idea here is to be long 1871, initial target 1872, potential resistance at 1873, and then the final trade to target is the weekly trading zone above. On every long alert, the final trade to target will always be the weekly zone above. On every short, it will always be the weekly zone below. On this particular one, at the time Valerie did the recap, price had dropped to 1874.9, almost the final target. So when you enter a trade, if you're, now what you've got is the entire potential profit picture here. On a long, you simply take the zone, subtract the entry, that's the potential profit in the trade. However, if your plan is to only take $100 per contract out of the trade, then your risk on the trade has to reflect that. This was a long on the Russell. The idea here is to be long 1947. The initial target's 1949. Potential resistance at 56, which we hit, and the weekly zone at 58/59. It's a long on the Dow. Got an initial target, a second target, a third target, and a final trade to target. Here we had a long on the ES with an initial target, a second target, a third target, and a final trade to target, which we came just shy of. And then when you see the Z's, that means it didn't trigger. When you see the red X, that means it was stopped out. There's a long on the Russell. That's one we're still waiting on. And this was a long on the Euro. We had a stop out on bonds. We had a short on the Euro. Now we're into Sunday night. All of this was Monday's alerts. Go back to Sunday night. We're still using the previous week's weekly trading zones. The zones come out Monday morning for members and trial members at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. So we had a stop out on bonds. We had a short on the Euro. Initial target, second target, final trade to target. Silver, short 21.86. 2 pennies is $100 per contract traded, with potential support at 21.62, and then the zone down at 21.50. That's the final trade to target. Here's a short on gold, 1871, the 1870, the initial target, and the second, third, and the final trade to. Short on crude oil, short on the NQ, no trigger on the Russell, no trigger on the Dow, short on the ES. Week 237. Last week was the week where we had 23% stopped out, which still keeps our weekly average well below 20%. Now the purpose of the alerts is not so that you can just trade the alerts and not have to learn how to trade. The alerts are themselves a training tool to help you learn how to trade. I know some people just trade the alerts and figure, why bother learning how to trade? I could just trade the alerts. Well, there'll come a day when you regret the fact that you had an opportunity to learn how to trade 2 hours every day in a live training environment, unlimited one-on-one private mentoring, all the help a trader could possibly need, the kind of help that 9 out of 10 new traders never receive. And that's why the statistics are so dramatic. Obviously, you're either going to end up in this group or this group. Now, becoming a passport holder, that means you're a lifetime member. That means there's no recurring fees, no upsells, no new shiny objects to buy, ever. Because once we teach you how markets work and teach you how to trade, you don't need anything else. Anything else will only lead to confusion. What you do with the information we give you and the tools we provide you with, we have no way of knowing what you're going to do with that. That's why I can't tell you that a passport's going to guarantee you that you'll become the 1 out of 10. But I can guarantee you that if you follow the program, if you show up for class, if you book your one-on-one mentoring sessions, if you reach out for support around the clock via Telegram, you will get to the point where you'll no longer need someone to tell you when to get in and when to get out, because the chart will do exactly that. It will show you where there's a window of opportunity, and you'll use everything you learn in the live training room every trading day to take advantage of those windows of opportunity. Now, the Logic 247 alerts are based on current price action, but there's time built into every alert. For you to get the alert, go to your 30-minute chart, eyeball that window of opportunity, and then when price gets to the entry, you're ready to use your smaller time frame execution chart to actually take advantage of the opportunity. We still have our original alert service, the concierge trade alerts. They're a little bit different. Number one, they're based on historic price action. This static report is published shortly after the Globex open each evening. Globex opened at 6 p.m. Eastern last night. The alerts came out at 6:45. Now, there's two numbers for each market. We cover the same markets, the CTAs, as we do with the logic alerts. You probably don't trade all of these markets, so focus on the ones you do trade. Using the ES as an example, the first thing you do when this report comes out is on your 30-minute chart, make a note to yourself where price was at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. And then draw a line in the sand at 41.69 and a line in the sand at 41.05. Those will serve as visual cues so that you know which side of the street you should be on with your trades. If price gets above the 30-minute BBC and starts trending higher, that's bullish. So our strategy will look for opportunities to be long the market. If price gets below the 30-minute BBC and starts trending down, that's bearish. So our strategy will look for opportunities to be short the market. In either case, that's where you'll use Logic 247 and everything you learn in the live training room every trading day to yourself find opportunities to be long or short the market. Now, this broadcast is open to the public. So there are people viewing this that are not members or trial members yet. So if you're a civilian, feel free to take a screenshot, because we'll take a run through each one of these markets. We'll start out with the daily chart as we do each and every day. No matter what market you trade, the daily chart lets you know which way the institutional wind is blowing. The institutional traders are the ones who actually move price. Their accounts are denominated in hundreds of millions and billions of dollars. The typical retail trader has an account in the thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. We highlighted this yesterday, red and falling overhead. We know that's potential resistance. Just as when price pulls back to the BBC, we expect that to be support. The pullback holds more often than it doesn't. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row. But as blue and climbing gets above price and blue and climbing turns to red and falling, the step line crosses from the left side to the right side of blue and climbing. It tells you price is going to attempt to pull back to the BBC, and that's just exactly what it did. It held as support. It holds more often than it doesn't. This morning we spiked red and falling, but you can see where we are now. We're back to that step line, which can be potential support. The important numbers you would make on the ES is, where is major resistance? Institutional type resistance. Obviously the high of the day, which is pretty much the high of February 7th, and then the high of February 2nd. Where support, low of the session, the BBC, 24% fib. Now we had reverse fibs on the chart for almost a year because we've been in a downtrend for almost a year. The downtrend started March 29th. That's when the high was put in. The low was put in on October 13th, right here. So I got tired of looking at reverse fibs, and I decided to just take them off, but we're still in that same downtrend. And I drew the fibs from the low of October 13th to the high that was put in on February 2nd. Now the extreme volatility we've seen today is to me an indication that the market is about to find a path that it's going to stick with for a period of time. It's not a forecast, it's simply an observation. The green line is called the BBC. It just stands for bull bear cross. When price crosses below it, we anticipate lower prices. When price crosses above it, we anticipate higher prices. This red and blue indicator, it's called the CFMA1. I just refer to it as blue and climbing, red and falling. One is bullish, the other bearish. So when you've got price above the BBC and blue and climbing, doesn't get any better, you should be looking for long trades. Below the BBC, red and falling, short trades. Back above the BBC, red and falling has turned to blue and climbing. See how you get the heads up that the bottom may be in before price even gets back above the BBC. A leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement. You might say, I don't trade the daily chart, or I don't trade the S&P E-mini. Doesn't matter. Whether you trade individual stocks or any futures market, any crypto, or any forex pair, spend 2 minutes when you sit down at your platform. And we don't sit down at our platform to trade. We sit down at our platform to look for trading opportunities. Once we identify the opportunity, then we're patient and we wait to utilize everything that we've learned. That's how it works. So no matter what market you trade, spend 2 minutes with the daily chart, identify on, because you won't be able to see this on your smaller time frame. Identify where major resistance is, identify where major support is. As I said, we've spiked red and falling, and we've spiked the step line. But as you can see, price is sitting right on top of support at the step line. If we trade through the step line, in the low of the day, and then we're back to the BBC. Now, even though the price, when price pulls back to the BBC, it holds more often than it doesn't. Eventually, the pullback won't hold. That's what keeps the markets fluid and tradable. So we've held once, twice, 3, 4 times. This will be the 5th test of the BBC. This just might be the one where it doesn't hold, because we have red and falling overhead. Now, could price reverse and close higher on the session? You have to embrace all possibilities and trade the reality. On the 30-minute chart, I mentioned drawing lines in the sand. 4169, 4105. All members, all free trial members, had these numbers last night at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. The vertical line on the chart separates today from Monday from Friday, from Thursday. Yesterday's high, and I put this in the discussion group so that everybody would be prepared and ready before it happened. When there's a bearish cross that leads to an extended move, the first time price revisits that area, it will almost always be good resistance. And that's what happened. We attacked it again, and right there, you can see that line's right up with the bearish cross. The same is true of a bullish cross. This bullish cross here has led to an extended move. When price gets to this area, which also this week happens to be a weekly trading zone, you should expect support, just like we found resistance here. Price pulled back to the BBC, and it made it up to the long target. And then price got below the BBC, and it made it all the way down, almost to the zone, pulled back to the BBC, spiked up, touched the long target again, and then down we come and touch the short target. So if price is above the BBC, you're trading for the long target. If price is below the BBC, you're trading for the short target. Now, this is a 30-minute chart. These are big candles. The average 30-minute candle right now is 19.5 points. So a lot happens inside of a 30-minute candle. Price is bounced up to the zone. We've got red and falling right there. So the next logical move is for price to get below the step line and take us down to the weekly zone. That's roughly 41, we'll call it 41.19 down to 41.13. That's a 6-point window of opportunity. Okay. On the Dow. Now, everything I say is fluid across all markets and all time frames. Everything I said about the daily chart, what I'm showing you here on the 30-minute chart, and what you'll use on your smaller time frame execution chart. Everything we teach, every tool we provide is fluid across all markets and all time frames. So we'll take a look again at this a little bit later. On the Dow, here's where the market opened, pulled back to the BBC, the pullback held, and then we hit the long target. Then price got below the BBC, we hit the short target. Pull back to the BBC, hit the short target again. Found support at the zone, bounced, traded below the zone to this low right here. Okay? Always looking left. Now, on every one of these charts, Michael's going to come on in just a minute, so I have to rush through the rest of these, or what I don't cover, I'll cover after he's done. He's going to do a recap of the live training room, and then we're going to spend 30 minutes trading live on TradingView. But look at these huge wicks. That's why there's been no alerts this morning. Okay? This volatility is good. I believe it's going to set the markets on a dedicated course. But trading in this, I mean, there's lots of opportunity. I had a good morning. But as far as alerts go, this is too erratic. We hit both targets. Hit the long target twice, short target 3 times. On the NQ, here's where we open. Price pulled back to the BBC, ran up to the target, pulled back to the BBC, ran up to the target, pulled back, another run at the target. On this move, we almost made it to the short target. And here we're up against resistance at the BBC. We want to see price get below the step line. And then a trade of 452 down to 435. It's a great window of opportunity. You got to make sure price clears that low. Remember, 10 points, $20 a point, $200 per contract traded. On crude, here's where we open. We consolidated along the weekly zone. We dropped through the short target, found support at the zone. When price drops to a zone, we expect support until proven otherwise. When price rallies up to a zone, we expect resistance until proven otherwise. On gold, here's where the market opened last night, and then price ran right up to the target and the weekly zone where it found resistance. Pulled back to the BBC, ran to the target again. And then we got all of this wild volatility. We hit the short target 2 twice. Below the BBC, red and falling. Above the BBC, blue and climbing. It's almost like those paint by number kits you used to have as a child. God, mine were ugly. Here's where the market opened on silver last night. Remember, 2 penny move is $100. We get below the BBC. We find resistance at the zone, just like we did yesterday. Okay, the day before. Oh, I would go all the way back to Friday. Today's Tuesday. This is Monday. So down we go. We get below the BBC. We got red and falling. So lots of room. Get your goal for the day. 21.90 down to 21.80. That's 10 pennies. That's $500 per contract traded. Found support at the zone, resistance at the zone, support at the zone, support at the zone. Euro, here's where the market opened. We're above the BBC. We've got blue and climbing, and up we go to the target. We spike this zone, but it holds as resistance. And now we're in a situation where we're back below the BBC, and we're looking for price to drop. I don't know, is there something wrong with my mic? Seems to be working okay on this end.
Yeah, it sounds fine to me, Dwayne. I didn't see the question. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead and grab it.
Okay. Here. Let's go here and here and there. All right. So here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is, what is today? Tuesday, February 14th. Hey, it's Valentine's Day. Hey, happy Valentine's Day. Oh boy. It's Valentine's Day. If you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to take a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com and right here it says sign up for your free 5-day training now. When you do that, you're going to be brought to this page where you just fill out this form. But after you do that, you should go here and download the trading platform. Whichever trading platform you use, you should definitely download and use that trading platform. Okay. Now, the stuff that you're going to see in here, you're going to see DT Pro, and you're going to see TradingView in this recap. Now, we did a lot of trading on TradingView this morning, and we did a little trading on DT Pro. And I'll get into all that here in just a minute. But if you're going to download the trading, if you're going to take the trial, make sure you download the trading platform. Whichever trading platform you're going to use, make sure you go and download that, okay? These are the trade rules. These are the rules for the trade setups using DT Pro and NinjaTrader, all right? And if you just follow these rules, you'll see the spreadsheet in a few minutes. You see the spreadsheet. You'll see the spreadsheet in a minute. And those results are from following these rules over and over and over again for years. And following the rules. All right, you can watch these videos. These videos go over, excuse me. These videos are live videos from last year of me actually following those rules using the DT Pro trading platform. Okay, so you'll see all of that in there. All right. So if you're going to take the free trial, you should definitely go and do all that. Now, the spreadsheet. I messed up again today when I got the gold for the day. I only had one contract on. So the results for the gold for the day are only one contract. It was $100 a contract. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you have to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 14th day of February, 2023. Made 2 ticks in crude, 17 ticks in gold, and 27 ticks on the ES. That put us at 527.50 on the morning session. Today took 9 minutes and 2 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $100 a contract. I took a total of 22 trades this morning. So on the month now, we're at $4,190 a contract. That's over 10 trading days, averaging $419 per contract per 2-hour trading day. So far in the year, we've gotten our goal in 29 out of 30 days. And the one day we didn't get our goal, we didn't make it to the $100. We were positive, we just didn't get the goal in that time frame. We've gone 21 days since our last negative day, and on that day, we did get our goal, but we gave it all back. And we've gone 377 business days since our last red day. A red day is when we don't get the goal and we end negative. So it's been 377 business days over a year since that's happened. Speaking of the year, on the year now, we're at $12,522 a contract. That's over 30 business days now, averaging $417 per contract per 2-hour business day. If you were to quit trading when you get your goal for the day and you were to add 1 contract per month, now this is kind of mixed up here. If I actually put this to 2, then this number would be 768. But if I leave it at 1 and I keep the numbers at exactly what I did, you'd only had to trade 7.78 hours so far this year, and you would be up $4,242 on the year, or averaging $545 per hour. Okay. Now, some of that is with 1 contract on. In the second month, I didn't actually have 2 contracts on, about half the month so far. We're 10 days in, and probably 5 of those days were with 1 contract on, and the other 5 were with 2 contracts on. But this number reflects what actually happened, okay, with 1 or 2 contracts. Anyway, all that is to say this: take the free trial. Okay, it's all in there. Now, let's get into the trades that we did. And on gold, let's look at this on gold. We had 1 trade here on gold. I ended up with plus 1 tick on this. Okay, on gold this morning. This was the 1 trade that I took from DT Pro on the gold this morning. Right now, there was a lot of movement, but not a lot of trades given, because every time it pulled back to the ribbon, it was the wrong color. You had some disqualifying factor down there in the slingshot. So we just didn't get a lot of trades here from the DT Pro with all the movement that we had. There was not a lot of trades there with DT Pro. We'll look at crude oil. I don't remember if I took a trade here on DT Pro with crude. I didn't. Again, there was a lot of movement, and there were some decent trades in here using the trendline trades, the continuation trades. There were quite a few of those in here. But as far as bounces off the ribbon, not much at all. One right in here, and I think there was another long somewhere. Yeah, right over here. That was during the break. So there weren't many bounces off the ribbon that you could take. There were continuation trades that you could take, but as far as bounces off the ribbon, not very many. With all the movement that we had, we didn't get much there on the crude. Now, I'm going to go and show you all this stuff on TradingView in a minute, because that's where I traded primarily this morning, and I was just trading bounces off the ribbon with TradingView. Okay, with the ES, I think we had a couple of trades that we took here with the ES. So we had all this movement down here, but there was something disqualifying trades all the way down, all the way down. Right in here, we finally had 1 trade you could have taken right there, and another one right there, and 1 more right there. We took a break even on that one, and then when we were in TradingView, all these bounces off the, well, not all of them, but a bunch of these bounces off the ribbon were tradable. Okay, like this one here would have been tradable. This 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 would have been tradable. That, probably that. I'll get into that in just a minute, and I'll show it all to you. We did take this long trade here. I think we took 8 ticks on that one. And there was another one in here that I didn't get. Okay, there was another one in here that I didn't get. And as it went through, all the way through here, gave us another short right in there, which would have been okay to take. A short in here, which would have been okay to take. There was nothing there because the green line was all the way down into the cycle, and then the slingshot kept you out of the rest of it. So there was so much movement, but not a lot of trade setups that you could do because there were so many disqualifying factors. Okay, look at all this chop here right at the end. Now, let me get into what we did with the TradingView. Okay, Here it is. All right, we'll start out with the gold. And we didn't get a lot of trades here in gold, it looks like. In the gold, we did have a lot of trades in gold. Am I on the right day? I don't think I'm on the right day. Yeah, I guess I am. Where did all the trades in gold go? Well, in gold this morning, we had our first trade was plus 5 ticks. Something happened to this. I got rid of all my trades. But our first trade was plus 5 ticks. Our next trade was plus 10 to get us to plus 15. Then the one after that was plus 11 to get us to 26. Then we stopped out, went back down to 16. Then we got 10 more to went back up to 26. Then one more back up to 27. And then we stopped out, went back down to 17. Now, I don't know why they're not showing in here. I had all this stuff showing in here earlier. But the trades here are off the ribbon. You know, in here, you can just take a trade off the ribbon. When the long-term trend is down and the black line is in the red, you can take the trade off the ribbon in there. Okay, and there's just this one. That was our last stop out. I think that's all they're showing. But there were a whole bunch more trades. I don't know why they're not showing up anymore. Anyway, during the break, long-term trend changed to up. It was bullish. So you can take pullbacks down to the ribbon where the black is on the bottom and the black is in the green. Okay, so there was a long trade right there. You could actually, that was kind of flat. You couldn't take that one, but you could take this one right here. A long trade right here. You could have taken, and then it all flattened out again, and you could have taken this right here, this short right here for a little bit, and this short right here was borderline because the black was just getting out of the red. But if you did take it, that would have stopped you out, and that just happened. I don't know what happened to all my arrows because I had drawn arrows on every single trade that I took this morning in gold. And they're not there anymore. Huh. Interesting. I hope they're on the other markets. But let's go see. Okay, we'll go to crude oil now. And it looks like the drawing stuff, some of it anyway, is still in there in crude oil. No, only a little bit is in crude oil too. Because I took a bunch of trades in crude. I took a few trades in crude. Okay, I guess I had to take a bunch. I took a long here. That was a break even. Then what did we end up with? Just a couple of ticks. Okay, so I took a trade there, got 1 tick. That might have been our last trade. I took one more trade. I think I showed that to you in DT Pro and got 1 tick in crude. Okay, I think. Nope, I don't show anything in DT Pro. But, well, I did take 1 more tick, and I mean 1 more trade, and I got 1 tick, 1 more tick. So I ended up with plus 2 ticks. I had a break even, a plus 1, and then another plus 1 is what I had in crude oil today. Again, it was a lot of movement, but by the time I gave the trade setup, it would have changed the direction too much, or it had gotten the black line out of the right color. I know I took another trade somewhere in here. I got 1 more tick. But during the break, let's just look at that. In here, the long-term direction was bearish. Price pulled up. It hit the ribbon, gave a down close while the black is still in the red. So you had a shorting opportunity right there. Came around and tried to do the same thing here on the long side. It did actually give you the up close there, and that was enough to get a break even. Turned around, didn't give a trade in here, and now it's barely trending up right now. So you want to make sure that that black line is in the green with the long-term direction being bullish. Okay, there was 1 trade right in here that looks like it dragged down forever and then would have stopped you out right here. Not a whole lot happening there. Now the ES, hopefully the ES is going to have all our trades because we had a bunch of trades on the ES. There's a couple. Okay. So we'll go back to the beginning here on the ES. Okay, so the first trade that I took on the ES, today we picked up 4 ticks on the first trade, and then I believe I took that trade on DT Pro, and it looks like I got 6 ticks on that one to get us to the plus 10 on the day. So this was our first trade here. We ended up with 4 ticks profit on that. That was just a trade off the ribbon when the long-term trend is bearish, and it was a trade off the ribbon in there. Now our next one, we didn't do again until all the way over here. The long-term trend turned bullish. We came back down, hit the ribbon, got an up close. That, I mean, it looks like a lot, but it was only about 10 minutes later. was right here. We got that long, and there was one long on DT Pro that we did in there as well in that time. So on this one, we had gone from, I don't know, the way we got the goal for the day was 5 on gold and 4 on the ES. So the next one that we got was plus 10 or plus 12 to get me to plus 16. Okay, and right here we went from 16 to 24, so there was a plus 8. I think that plus 8 was on the ES at this time. Then we went from 24 to 32, so that was a plus 8. And then we went from 32 to 33, so I had a 1 tick, then a couple of break evens, that's what the yellows are, and then went from 33 to 37, so I had a 4 tick. Then somewhere in here I stopped out. I didn't count a couple of these trades, it looks like, because I went from 37 down to 27. Yeah, it looks like I didn't count a couple of these trades. Here I went down to 27, so I didn't count that win, whatever that was, that win, whatever that was, and that win, whatever that was. And here I stopped out and went down to 27, and then the next one I stopped out again. Now this one I stopped out and I never had a chance to move my stop to break even. This one, I think I should have had my stop at break even, but I didn't move fast enough. And I stopped out again. So at that point I was at 17. Then right here, I picked up from 17, we went to 19, I got 2 ticks. Then I got a break even right there. And then right at the end, I picked up 8 ticks right here to get me up to 27. And there was a lot more in there that I totally forgot to account for. So we ended up with overall 27 ticks on the ES this morning. Now during the break, there was a lot of movement during the break. In here, the long-term direction was bullish, and we pulled back at the ribbon. Had a chance right there, then got to bearish, came up, hit the ribbon, black is in the red. Switched to bullish a little bit right in here. I don't know if I would have done that because it's just barely bullish, but the second one here I might have done. The third one over here, the black went out of the green, so no trade. Then it got all flat, nothing. Then it got bullish again. Right there's a trade, right there's a trade, right there's a trade. Those would all have been combined. Right up here, another trade, those would have been combined. Now you see, you got to watch the long term. When you watch the long term cycle right here, is it starts to flatten out. Like right here, it got flat. So you would have been thinking trade. Then right here, it got a little bit long. So right here, when it pulls back, you might have been thinking trade, but then the black line got out of the green. So you're not thinking anything. You're not thinking anything, and it gives like these little bumps right here. In real time, that's going to look a lot different than it does right there. You know, in real time, it'll look like that. Okay, so that looks bullish, right? Pulls back, gives you the thing. Now right here, the black was out of the green on that. Oh crap, it's 12:59. I had to get to the streaming part. Okay, well anyway, that's all of that. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to mytradingiq.com and you can sign up for the free trial there. I didn't realize what time it was. I got to jump into the streaming part. Okay, so to get into the streaming part, guys, let me show you that right quick. Go here to TradingView.com, go to community, live streams. It's going to be right here, upcoming streams. Okay, I'm going to start that right now. Okay, I totally lost track of time there. Okay, so here is that part. Right, they don't let me do it till exactly 1:01. So I'll do just a little bit more here. If you haven't taken a free trial with us and you want to, go here to mytradingiq.com. Right there is where you, I'm sorry, right here is where you sign up for the free trial. Click on that. The trial goes from 9:30 to 11:30 Eastern time every single business day. All right, sign up for the free trial right there. And now I got to get into the next part. Rick S., how are things going? I just noticed that you're in there. And John, I saw you had your hand up. I'm not sure about that. But if you haven't taken a free trial, go to mytradingiq.com. Right here is how you do it. All right, so now I'm going to start the live stream, and I'll do that right over here. I'll click on that and hide the camera. Click on that, and it should. I click start stream, and click on this. Okay, let me refresh this. Refresh this page. Okay. Now I'll click on that, and that gives me this to this, and that. And there we go. All right, so now we're streaming. takes me a minute to actually get the whole stream thing going. But here we go. So what we're looking for right now, the long-term trend is up. The black is in the green. So we're looking for a pullback down to touch the ribbon, anywhere in the ribbon right now. Same thing over here on the crude oil. The long-term trend is up. The black is in the green. We're looking for a pullback down into the ribbon. The gold is just starting to move up. You see that? So when it pulls back down, you got to watch the long-term trend. The long-term trend is identified by the black, the outline, the black outline right there. Okay. That is a long-term trend. So right now you see the ES just took off. This is the ES. I'm going to bump this to a 7 range on the ES. Okay, every single chart that you see here is a 7-tick range. That means every bar that you see is 7 ticks high. Okay, and this one, let me hit auto on this. So it's auto crunched up. We just had something happen here to make the ES jump like that. The entry point for that would have been right down here a minute ago. But now we got to wait for it to pull back down, get into the ribbon, and then we'll look for a trade. All the markets just took off. I don't know what was going on right now or what just happened to make that a thing, but it is. So now we just react to it. Okay. So I was saying, if you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to take a free trial with us, go to mytradingiq.com. You can sign up for the free trial right on that page. It's really simple and self-explanatory, right? So what you're seeing in here right now, for people who are new to this, what you're seeing in here right now, the long-term trend is identified by the outline, the black outline here. The short-term trend is the darker color inside, and the ribbon that's in the middle of it all is going to act as your support and or resistance price to bounce off of. What we're looking for right now, what we're always looking for is to, the market's always going up and down, up and down and up. And we're looking to find this spot right here, to get in at that spot and get out of this spot, and get out of that spot, to find this spot, get in there and get out of that spot. So right now, this is the down part. We're looking for an opportunity to get in here and ride it up when it goes up like that. Okay, that's what we're looking for on all these markets right now. It's on the up part from down here, and we're looking for the part down here. Reason to get in. Okay, this is the up part down here. We're looking for that reason to get in. Now we don't have it yet. Let me erase that. We don't have it yet, but we almost have it here on the ES. The ES has got to pull all the way back down here to 39.75. And if it pulls back down to 39.75 and the black stays in the green, this black line right here on the bottom of the ribbon stays in the green, then you can take an up close. John M, how do you sign up for that? We'll send you what you need in an email. Okay. To get into the morning session. That's what you're talking about, right, John? Just get into the morning session. Okay. We'll send you something. I can't do it right now, but either me or Val or somebody will send you a link to reactivate that stuff. Okay. All right, so again, this is obviously TradingView charts right here. This that you're seeing up here is called the TIQ context. This down here is TIQ ultimate slingshot. Now, you don't need to use the slingshot for entry, right? It doesn't come into play on the entry, though it doesn't hurt if the slingshot, if you're going long and the slingshot is down here in the oversold area, it doesn't hurt to have that. You see these little arrows at the bottom of the bars sometimes. What they are indicating is that the next bar could be a very high probability trade opportunity, right? Like this one down here, the next bar could be a very high probability trade opportunity. They're actually indicating that the current bar could be as well. But once you understand what you're looking for, you'll know. It's just basically a heads up to say, hey, pay attention. There's a trade that's likely setting up. What it's telling you, the thing that it's telling you is that the long-term trend is bullish. And this white line down here in the slingshot is oversold. If it's on the bottom like that, that's what it's telling you. If it's on the top, like this one over here, it's saying the long-term trend is bearish and this white line is overbought, right? So that means the next bar could very well be a trade. Uh-oh. Did we just, crap. Dwayne, did we just lose the TradingView? I just got this snap thing. Okay. Let me see if I can refresh this and see if it shows. Okay, nope. Okay, you see TradingView on my screen, but I'm looking. The camera just shut off. Yeah, let me put it back on. There. Okay. Yeah, the camera shut off. That's what it was. Okay, so the camera's back on. He didn't miss anything in that moment right there. Nobody missed anything. I think the recording's still going. The camera just shut off for a second there. And I just closed down the that other charting platform that takes up so much memory. So hopefully this will not be an issue again. All right, so right now we're looking for an opportunity to take a trade. We need it to pull back down into the ribbon. On any one of these needs to pull back down to the ribbon. All right, now I know that people are going to want to know how to take these trades in the middle. You know, when it's really moving, how I can get into this trade right here, or this trade right here, or any one of these right here. And there is a way to do that, but that's not the focus right here, right? The focus, keeping it simple. We just want it to pull back and hit the ribbon when the black is in the green and the long-term trend is up. So if this drops down here, it just got to drop down a couple more ticks right here. And if it drops down there and then it gives us an up close, we're going to go long. Okay, it's just got to hit right there. One more tick will do it. So right now in hindsight, I think this is going to look like it hit it. So 44.25 to 46.25 right in there. That's just very close to hitting it right there. See, it didn't actually hit the ribbon right there. I think this is going to go anyway. It's going to go up to 41.50. If it does pull back and hit the ribbon, 41.50 is the number it's searching for right now. I know that's just right up here, but here it is. 41.50 is the number it's searching for right there. Okay. Now let's see if this one hits the ribbon. Okay, and look at this, guys. Remember what I said earlier this morning? That white line. If that white line's going against you on an up close, you want to wait. It's probably not going to be that bar that's going to be the trade. It's probably going to be 1 or 2 bars after that's going to be the one. Remember me saying that this morning? All you guys that were in there this morning with me. 43.75 now up to 45.75 would be a long trade right now on the ES. And there it is. And look, white bar is no longer going against it. That is the trade right there. Okay, so that should make it up here to 41.50 pretty easily. Hang on. Now, every trade starts out with 10 ticks of risk, all right? And I move the stop to break even after I get 4 ticks in profit. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for right now. Whoops. I mean that to be at 41.50. It is at 41.50. Let me bring that DOM back up. Hang on. Where is my DOM? Here it is. Okay, so every trade starts out with 10 ticks of risk. If we stop out, we stop out. It should push right up here to 41.50 is what it should do right now. Okay, so we got that trade on. Now look over here on the crude oil. That looks like it's going to probably stop us out, but look over here on the crude oil. The crude needs to pull back and hit the ribbon as well. Right, and that one did just stop us out. So it is what it is. Hang on, let me write that in there. Okay, and that is a red one. Okay, now let me go over here to crude. We need the crude to pull back down and get in the ribbon, and we'll see what that's going to do. Did not have a chance to move the stop to break even on this. You move the stop to break even after you get 4 ticks in profit, and we never got 4 ticks in profit on that. Now I have a feeling this is going to stop us out to the tick and then make a run up. We'll see what it does though. Okay, we'll see what it does in here. All right, the crude is now down to the level where you can buy it, 79.10 up to 79.19, 79.18 on the crude. All right, now that's 79.09 up to 79.17 on crude. So an up close on crude at 79.17 would be a long trade in here. The ES is probably going to work out now. I don't know for sure, but we'll wait and see. See how this is starting to move up right here? What you anticipate is that the green line is going to work its way all the way up into the overbought here. We'll see, but this is retracing some of this price action that you saw right here. Okay. 79.09 up to 79.17 is what we're looking for here right now. Okay. All right. So waiting right now. Oops, that's that one. That's this one. Okay. We need the up close here on the crude. It's still got a low of 79.09. Add 8 to that. It's going to put us up at 79.17. Okay, so we'll get the up close here at 79.16. Will be 7 over that. And then we trigger here. 79.17 here. This is what I mean. Okay. So now we should trigger in right here. All right. I'm going to jump right there instead. And now we triggered in. So we're in at 16 right now. And again, every trade starts out with 10 ticks of risk. Okay. The black line is clearly in the green. We're testing the ribbon. We're just looking for it to move up from here. Looking left, it should move up here to 79.32. Okay, the DOM's not supporting 79.32 right now, but we just need to get 4 ticks in profit to get the risk off the trade. Okay. And it's 1:12, so we have 18 minutes left in here. The gold's starting to pull back too. And we'll see what happens here when the gold, if the gold pulls all the way back or not. Right. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about anything at this point? I don't see anybody typing anything in anywhere, so just waiting now. And the crude should get up above 79.21 right here. If it gets up to 79.21, we'll take the risk off the trade. That means move the stop to break even. Okay. Actually, if it gets up to 79.20, 4 ticks in profit, we'll bump that stop to break even. And then we'll just let it go and see what it does. Okay, you see the gold is starting to pull back. The gold is almost in a position to give us a trade setup as well. Okay. So crude's getting a little bouncy here. Just want to hit 4 ticks in profit and then take the risk off the trade. Okay. There's 2. Three, one more. One more. There it is, 4 ticks in profit. Now we don't have any risk on this trade. And we're gonna let it ride out. It should go, I'm thinking right now 79.30. That happens to be pretty close to the swing high. So it should get us up there. The gold we'll see right now. But I don't have any risk on this crude trade, so I can just let this thing do whatever it wants to do right now. Okay, and the ES is starting to move up after stopping us out. The ES is starting to move up now as well. The ES should make it up here to 41.50. Okay, and the gold did not pull back deep enough to give us a trade setup. Okay. It did not pull back deep enough to give us a trade setup, so we're waiting on that one right now. Okay. It is now 1:14, and we're going to stop out at break even on the crude. There it is. We're out of the crude. All right, so that ends up being one of these. Okay. It doesn't give me the opportunity to save that over here. I wonder why. All right, so now we'll see what happens next. Okay. Dwayne, it is, but you got to go out to TradingView to get it. It's actually being recorded in a bunch of places. You can watch it on TradingView. I'll show you how to get to that. On TradingView, we don't have another trade setting up here or here right now, and the gold is running without it. But in TradingView, if you go here to recent streams, if you go up here to recent streams, Dwayne, and you go all the way to the end, you'll see the ones from the past. Go to see all recent streams. That's going to put you in a separate window in TradingView that you'll be able to scroll down like this and see all the past streams, and you can see all the ones that we've done in here. Show more streams. And you can see, here's the one we did yesterday, I believe. And then you'll have the ones that we did last week are in there too. Okay. But this is also going out on YouTube. The crude is now working out well. The ES is still trying to work its way way up, and the gold didn't give us a trade. But this is all going on YouTube as well. Okay, is line 4140 on the ES? Did I draw that, or is it automatic? The 4150 line, this one right here, you mean 4150 and a quarter? I drew that, John. Okay, that's what I was reading at the time in the DOM. But you can see this is in at a good place. This, actually, we needed, this didn't get us in at a good place. It looked like it was going to, but then it pulled all the way back down here and pushed up. I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes it's going to pull back a little bit deeper than you anticipate. Right now, if we push up right here, we'll take another shot at this. Okay, I guess we could have gone long again right here. We could have gone long right here if we wanted to at 41.45 and a half. So that the black line is in the green, and the long-term trend is bullish. So we could have gone long again right there, but I missed it. Okay, and over here, the crude, I was anticipating the crude to get up to here. Right now, the thing that's showing on the crude is 38. 38 is the number on the crude. So I'll draw that in for you. That is up here. Right there, 38. See, John, I'm drawing that in myself. Okay, and on gold, the number up above is, on gold, I can't see all that much, but I can see up to 67.0. That's where gold is trying to get to. Okay, I'll bring this down. Well, it's going to get there right now, I think, but 67.0 is the number that that's trying to get to. Okay, and the ES ran right through all those numbers that I gave you there. We could have entered that again right here. I'm sorry that I didn't. We could have entered it again right here. And on a pullback, we'll try to get it again if it gives us another shot at it. So this hit that number. This is going up to hit that number. And right now, it's pulling back. We'll see what happens in here when it gets down there. Okay. We may get another chance. We may not. Okay. All we need to do is see this get down in the ribbon here. The black line is still in the green. It's just going to pull down to here. If it gets down to 47.75, then we'll get ready to take a trade. Okay. I didn't look, I'm sorry I didn't look for a new target number while it was up high like that. This is really close to giving us an opportunity here. This is going to just miss it. If one more tick down. There it is right there. Okay, so now we can take the up close. Right, the up close from this bar will still work. It's 47.25. Oh, I lost my DOM. Hold it. 47.25 up to 49.25. There it is right there. That's the up close. That's at 49.25. And you can get in just a little better right now. Hang on. Here, I got in just a little better on that. We'll see where it goes though. The black is clearly still in the green. And we're in it. We'll see what happens here. It should move up at least. I'm thinking all the way up here to 41.55. That other number that I gave you right up here, we hit that. It pulled back quite a bit deeper than I anticipated on that. And it's pulling back pretty deep on this one too. But we're in it to win it here. Over here on the gold, I should have been looking for another target for you on the upside on that. Sorry, I didn't find that for you yet. The closest thing is looking at a 69.0 on the gold. 69.0 on the gold. Now we got 4 ticks in profit here on the ES. I'm gonna throw my stop at break even on that. 69.0 is right here. I know that's not too far up, but if we get a decent pullback on the gold, then we'll have a shot at something better there. Crude hasn't made it up to this number yet. We'll see if it does get up there. The ES is getting thin up in this level right here. It's got to get up above 41.50. If we get up above 41.50, then we should make it up here at 41.55, I'm thinking. Okay, but we're in the trade with no risk right now. And that's how you want to be. Well, actually, with profit locked in is what you want to be, but we got to get above this 41.50. I think it's going to go pretty fast if it gets up above there. The crude oil is starting to pull back a little bit here. Okay. And there, it should just about made it this time. There it goes. The crude oil is starting to pull back a little bit. Just gonna lock in one tick on this as we go through 41.50 right now. we should have a nice run, I would think. And waiting for gold to give us a little bit of a pullback here too. It's got to get down into the ribbon. But you see, all you have to do is wait for it to get down into the ribbon. No, not with just the one tick. All you have to do is wait for it to get down into the ribbon. If the black is in the green, when it gets in the ribbon, you take the up close. Right? This one didn't work out. This one worked out for one tick, but you saw I had about 6 or 8 ticks in there a couple of times. This one ended up giving me break even, but that one ended up going up. And the gold, we didn't get anything going on because it never came all the way back down. What time is it? 1:21. All right. So again, let me go over this really quick. Okay. If you have any questions about this or you want to take a trial with this, go to mytradingiq.com. mytradingiq.com. If you go there and you sign up, you go to trading platforms on that page. If you're not already subscribed to TradingView, you can subscribe there. Right? That's one thing you can do. Use the link that we provide there, and you may actually get a discount from TradingView if you're using that link. And just sign up for the trial. Go to mytradingiq.com and sign up for the trial right there. Right, so right now we're waiting, waiting for another opportunity. But this right here did give us just a little bit of blue. So we'll highlight that one. And waiting for another opportunity. See how the black got out of the green right there? The black is out of the green now, so there's no trading in there right now. All the long-term trends are still bullish, but there's no trading left right now. Okay. So we wait. It is now 1:23. So let me just show you guys something else while we're waiting right here. I don't think the ES is going to give us anything anytime soon, so I'll just use the ES. If you like to trade equities, you can do the same thing with equities, except you're not going to be able to do it on a 7-tick range. You probably do a 100-tick range on that. And here, 100 ticks is $1. Okay, 100 ticks is $1. So when everything's moving up, the long-term direction is up. You pull back down, test to the ribbon. Every bar is $1. All right. And when it gets all flat, you don't do anything. But when you get some good trend in it, that's when you start looking for the trades. Right. Same thing again and again and again. And this is equities. Right. If you want to do it with ETFs, you can do it with ETFs as well. It's all the same stuff. Okay. Get a decent trend going, you pull back up, you tested the ribbon. Decent trend going, you pull back down, you tested the ribbon. It's all the same stuff. Okay. All right. So whatever you want to trade, you can use this stuff to do it. We focus on futures. This was the ES. We focus on futures because that's primarily what we've been doing for over a decade. But you don't have to if you don't want to. If you want to trade other things, it is completely up to you what you trade. All right. So right now, while I was doing that, the gold actually gave a trade right here. The gold gave a trade. The crude is about to give a trade. So let's see what happens here with the crude. The crude is 79.17. You're gonna be looking at 25, and I'll close at 25 on that. The gold was an entry right here at 67.2. So now the gold. The thing about the gold, while looking left, it should make it up here to 69.2. That's just looking left. The DOM's not really giving anything away. It did make it up to this number that I gave you a little while ago, but we didn't have a trade set up for that one. Again, I want to point out this little arrow that happened on the bar before the trigger bar. It happened because the long-term trend was bullish and the white down here in the slingshot was oversold. That's why that arrow triggered in there. Okay, now this has already gone 4 ticks into profit, so If you did take that, your stop would have gone to break even already. The entry point would have been here at 67.2 and ran up to 67.7. So you don't actually have a trade set up there anymore, but it did have a trade set up going in there. Here on the crude oil right now, this one, the black is in the green, clearly in the green right here, right? The long-term trend is bullish, so we need an up close here on this crude. It's got a low here of 79.14, and you would buy 8 ticks above that. So that would be from 14 up to 22 right now. Okay. Let me pull this back up and see if there's any questions in here. There are no questions today in the live chat. That's unusual. Makes me wonder if the whole thing's even working. Well, I guess I'll go look at the recap later. Right, so we're waiting for an up close here, and over here, we did get the up close here. Now it's about to trigger again on the gold. Okay, it would need an up close on this bar. Now this last one, if you got into it right here, I don't know if you would have stopped out. If you got in there at 67.2, your risk is 10 ticks. So it didn't stop you. Oh yeah, it would have gone. You'd still be in it right now. Just barely, but you're still in it. Yeah, okay, you guys are there. Good, Marco. John M. I got to remember to send you that stuff. I know Dwayne typed in some kind of response to you, but I can't see what he typed. Okay. All right. So now the black is out of the green over here. All right, and over here on the crude oil right now, if we get an up close on this bar, and we just did. Oh, okay, I did have an order waiting there. Yeah, I had an order waiting. Okay, so I'm wrong. I was gonna say I missed it, but I had an order waiting there. This should go all the way up here to 79.40. What time is it? 128. Should go to 79.40. All right, now I drew this line in here a little while ago on what I could see at that time, and now I can see a little bit more, so I'm just gonna bump this up to 79.40. Okay, that's what this should make it up to right now. Now let me get my Dom back up here so I can manage that trade some more. Oops, where'd it go? Did I click on the wrong Dom? I think I did. Hang on, here it is. Okay, okay. I might click on my gold Dom instead of my crude Dom. All right, so we're +5 on this, and I'm thinking it's gonna go all the way up here. That would be 18 ticks if it makes it all the way up there. Okay, +7. Now, it's going to take me out with 7 here, I think. It's pulling back again. You see how the green line came up? It got up into the overbought, and now it's pulling back down. So you're probably going to get another shot at this if you were trading on one of the other platforms, or you're using the continuation trades. You would have another shot at this. But for right now, just playing off the ribbon, that was it right there. We picked up 7 ticks on that. And in the meantime, the ES over here has snuck in a short trade. You see the long-term trend turned down, and it came up here. The black line was in the red, and it just snuck in this little short trade over here. So that's something that's going on. The gold didn't end up giving us anything right in here. It gave us that one trade there that I ended up missing. And the ES gave us this long here that was, I think I got 1 tick on that. This long here that I stopped out on. And that's all in this session that it had given us so far. The crude gave us a break even, and it gave us 7 ticks on that one. And in this half hour, that's pretty much what's going on. Again, on the crude, this is the number up here that it's trying to get up to. Okay, and let me bring this back up. Again, here it is now 1:30, so I gotta shut this down, but yeah. So if you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to take a free trial with us, then go to mytradingiq.com and sign up for the free trial right on that home page. Okay, just a recap. Okay, Ramsey's just texted me. I don't know if he's still in here. You are in here. Okay, Ramsey's, I'll get back to you in a few minutes. Okay. All right. So this is it right now. I'm kind of waiting for the yes to see if the yes is going to do anything right now. There it goes. It's starting to move. Okay, so here it is. It's starting to move. Throw that stop at break even, and we're out of break even. Okay. All right, so that is going to be it for this afternoon's session, I think, guys, that ended up being a break even, so we'll call that a yellow. But this morning we had, you can move that up so it's not in there. This morning we had a lot more opportunity, it seemed like. Well, it's only been a half an hour, and we did have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 potential trades here in this half hour, so that's pretty good stuff. Anyway, that's it, guys. With that, I'm going to have to wrap it up for right now and pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, Studio A, looking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Again, if you want to take a free trial with us, just go to mytradingiq.com. Mytradingiq.com. Dwayne, it is all yours. Let me hang on here to stop the stream.
What was the recap of the recap for the room this morning?
The room, 9 minutes and 2 trades, $100 a contract.
Good job.
9 minutes and 2 trades, $100 a contract. Thank you.
All right, guys, we made it through all the markets. We'll take a quick peek one more time before we wrap it up. Oh, we didn't look. The one chart we didn't look at was the bond chart. And again, the vertical line separates today from yesterday. And remember, today started last night at 6 p.m. Eastern, 1800 hours. We're above the BBC. Price ran right up to the CTA target. Pull back to the BBC. When the price pulls back to the BBC, whether from below or above, holds more often than it doesn't. And it took us up to the CTA target a second time, and then we got below the BBC, and you'll see how price pulled up to the BBC and it held, and that sent us down to the short CTA target. So that's the story on bonds. Now, to recap really quick on the daily chart. Okay, we got red and falling overhead. That represents potential resistance. And we've spiked red and falling. We've spiked the step line. So price is sort of trapped right here. It needs to get above red and falling, or it needs to get, price itself needs to get back below the step line. Right now we just got a daily doji going on. Here's the ES. We never came down to fill that window of opportunity. The market took off in the other direction. Here's the Dow, the Russell, the NQ, crude, gold, and silver. Remember, when price moves up to a zone, we look for resistance. When price drops to a zone, we look for support. We had support off of this zone, pull back to the BBC, and then it went down to the next zone. Once you understand how price flows around a weekly trading zone, then the zones will become one of the best tools in your trading toolbox. And of course, we'll go into those in greater detail in your unlimited one-on-one mentoring sessions. All of our members have access to unlimited one-on-one private mentoring, 2 hours of live training and live markets every trading day. It's an interactive environment, okay? People ask, how long will it take me to learn this strategy? It is super simple. But you got to get all the other stuff out of your head, all the myths, all the things that have caused you torment and cost you money over the years. You got to clear that out of your head and look at it with fresh eyes, okay? Questions, questions, questions in the box, in the morning, in the live training room. You cannot ask too many questions. The more questions you ask, you'll reach the point where you go, oh, wait a minute, I already know the answer to that. Because it's rules-based trading, there's only so many questions a person could ask. When you become a lifetime member, there is no recurring fees, there's no upsells, there's no new shiny objects to buy. Not ever. One money, one price, membership for life. Everything a trader needs, all under one roof, at one low price. Plus you have around-the-clock support via Telegram. As a trial member, you'll have access to the trial discussion group. As a lifetime member, you'll have access to the Passport members only discussion group. There's always somebody up somewhere trading, and everybody learns the same method, the same indicators, the same strategy. And so any of our traders can answer the newcomers' basic questions. Passport is the all-access pass to everything we do, everything we've ever done, and whatever we do in the future. The strategy that you learn is fluid across all markets and all time frames, as are the indicators. It's every futures market, individual stocks, crypto, forex, from a 1-minute chart to a monthly chart, tick charts, range charts. Price flows the same across all markets and all time frames. As a Passport holder, you'll receive the Logic 247 alerts around the clock, the concierge trade alerts every night when they're posted, and of course you'll be in the Thursday night members only workshop. To become a lifetime member, go to eminifuturestrading.com. If you have any questions, call Valerie at 949-42-EMINI or send an email to support@cfrn.net. So let's wrap it up with our good word for the day. Now, we started yesterday talking about pruning. Psalm 119, verse 71. My suffering was good for me. God uses problems, pressures, and people to prune you for greater fruitfulness. Are you aware of Him using any of these three things in your life today? God can use all situations in your life to help you grow if you will just have the right attitude. He will use a major frustration, a financial setback, a sudden sickness, a broken marriage, a rebellious child, or even the death of a loved one to get your attention. And you say, but it hurts so much. Yes, it's true. Pruning is painful. Sometimes a gardener will prune a tree until it looks like a totem pole or a giant toothpick. It's not a pretty sight. But the pruning process is positive. God's not mad at you. Romans 8:1 says, there is therefore no condemnation to those who are in Christ Jesus. God does not punish His genuine children. Jesus took your punishment on the cross. God's pruning is for your best, for more fruitfulness in your life. Can God's pruning fail to produce? Sure, if you don't cooperate. How does God produce love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control in your life? He produces these qualities by allowing you to face situations and people with exactly the opposite qualities. He teaches you to love by putting you around difficult people. He teaches you patience by letting things frustrate you. You say, how can I cooperate with God? The Bible tells us in 1 Thessalonians 5:16 through 18. always be joyful. Never stop praying. Be thankful in all circumstances, for this is God's will for who you belong to, Christ Jesus. And that's our good word for the day. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.